Another green feature that we've put into the house has to do with the airflow in the garage. One of the main things in green building is you're trying to create a healthier home environment for your individuals that are living in the home. One key component of that has to do with air in the garage. There's a lot of off-gassing that happens with the car. Therefore, you have a lot of harmful chemicals that end up inside your garage that you really don't want to be there. What we've done here in this particular home is we've actually added a air system that is an automatic air exchange system. So when the garage doors close, the vent will be activated, and it will run for about 15 minutes, getting all the nasty, harmful fumes and gases out of the garage. Another feature that we put into the house is a central vacuum system. This has been a common feature in many custom homes and many even production homes over the years, and it's a great feature for a green home because it does help you get all the dust and debris out of your home, and unlike a vacuum, the dust doesn't stay inside your closet or wherever you're keeping your vacuum. You're actually taking all that dust and getting it outside of the house. So when you see the white pipes throughout the house like this, these are all for the central vacuum system, and we've been very successful installing these over the years. Homeowners love them, and they're a great option for a house, especially a green home. What you're looking at right now is our fire suppression system. Those orange pipes are our fire suppression system for the house. Our fire suppression system goes throughout the house, and we have a different sprinkler head every 10 feet or so throughout the entire house. So in case we ever do have a fire, those will instantly come on and put out any fire that we happen to have. When we were going through the permitting process, the city of Las Vegas gave us the option to either put in a fire suppression system in the house or to install a fire hydrant out on the street in front of the house. We chose to go ahead and install the fire suppression system inside the house because we felt it was going to be a little bit safer and help our resale value for the house, and also just have that little bit of added protection to have that fire suppression system in the house. One common misnomer about a fire suppression system is that if one sprinkler goes off in the house, all of the sprinklers go off throughout the house. That causes quite a few people to worry about putting a fire suppression system into their personal residence. However, the new systems that have come out over the last 5 to 10 years don't have that problem. Basically, if you have any sort of fire anywhere in the house, only the sprinklers that have heated up to over 135 degrees will actually discharge and start to let water out. So you really won't have a problem throughout the rest of the house unless the fire happens to spread to other areas, thereby causing other sprinkler heads to release. So what we have here is our control system for our audio-visual system throughout the house. As you can see here, we have a very thick bundle of audio-video wires that are going throughout the house, and they go to almost every single room in the house. We're going to have iPod docking stations throughout the house, so when you go to an individual bedroom, you'll be able to stick your iPod right into the slot, so you'll be able to listen to your favorite music wherever you are at any time. You'll also be able to run the whole video system. We have a 10 video camera system for exterior security throughout the house, and we also have a camera system that goes directly to the front door as well as to the gate, and so each one of these wires is labeled to where it's actually going to. So this one right here, you can see, goes to the front door, and that will be the camera, and you'll have both audio and video at the front door. One major aspect of this home in terms of trying to save energy is trying to make sure that we have a lot of natural light coming into the house throughout the day. One thing that we did here in this large gallery area that's kind of like the center point of the house, we have 2 large windows up high in the gallery to make sure that we get a lot of natural light in here throughout the day. So one thing that I did is I added these skylights, and these skylights actually open based off of a remote control or off of a wall operated keypad. One neat thing about these particular skylights is that they both open kind of like the front of the hood of your car, just like that, and so when you have a lot of heat build up throughout the day, you can actually open those up and you can get a lot of the heat to rise and go out of the skylights. Another component of these particular skylights is that they have a solar screen inside them, and so if you don't want to have all the light coming into the house, or if it's a very hot summer day and you don't want to have that added heat coming in, you can close the screen off and you can not only reduce the amount of light, but reduce the amount of heat coming in. But in the springtime, when we have very nice days here in Las Vegas and we can maybe operate without the air conditioning, it might get a little warm throughout the day, but we want to be able to get rid of that heat buildup. So we're going to be able to open those skylights up, and all that heat buildup will be able to just run right out of the house, and we'll get a lot more airflow, a lot more air exchange throughout the house. It's a very, very green product from the perspective of that you can actually get that hot air buildup moving out of the house just by simply opening up those skylights. So it's a really neat thing, and it's actually the first time we've installed this particular brand, the Velux brand of skylights in a home. Pretty neat skylights, huh? Back in the garage, I showed you our central vacuum system. This is a component of our central vac system that's going to be actually installed in the cabinets themselves. This is actually a toe kick, and so when you're in here cleaning up in the kitchen, you might have a little coffee spill or some sort of coffee ground spill on the ground, and you don't want to get the whole central vacuum system out. What you can do is just get your little broom, and there'll be a little tab. You can kick it, and it'll turn on instantly, and you can just sweep right into there, and it'll suck everything right back out into the garage. So it's a pretty neat, efficient way to get rid of some of the dust and debris inside your kitchen. One thing that we're doing at Signature Custom Homes that is very unlike other builders is we are actually spraying all the wet areas in the house with a mildew/mold resistant spray. What you're seeing here is a yellow type film that's over our piping and all of our framing materials here. We're coming into all the wet areas in the house, and we spray all the framing members and all the piping and everything like that. So in case there ever is a leak 5, 10, 20 years down the line, those mold spores that are already present in the wood are not released. Basically what it's doing, it's sealing the wood, so if water ever does hit that wood, no more mold spores will be released. And this is really good for the durability of the house and how it's going to perform over the years, because we're not going to have any mold problems, we're not going to have any mildew or moisture problems coming over the years. And this is behind the fridge. That's one of the wet areas of the house. You can also see it present right around here. This part of the wood, you can kind of feel almost a sealant on top of it. This is the kitchen area right here. We have everything very well insulated with the bats, and then over here as we move to the exterior walls, you can see once again we have the cellulose blown in, and actually because we have bathrooms directly above us here, we also blew in the cellulose so we'd keep those bathrooms a little bit warmer than other parts of the house. Right. As we look into the great room right over here, you can see that we're doing a couple neat things. One is we have quite a few floor plugs throughout the house, so we'll be able to put lamps up without having to run cords from the walls. And we've also done the inline vents. It's a little bit more contemporary feature that you're seeing in a few more homes these days, and those inline vents just are a little bit less noticeable than your traditional 12 by 12 vent boxes that you see in most homes. All of our vents throughout the entire house are sealed with plastic. That is to prohibit dust and debris from entering our duct system during construction. This is actually the first time we've ever done this, and it seems like such a no-brainer after building homes over the years on why we never did this before. But it's a very green component. It's definitely something that is required by LEED to get the LEED points. And one thing that's really nice is when you go to turn your HVAC system on, in 3 or 4 months when the house is finally finished, especially when you turn your heater on, you're not going to have that heater burning up all that dust and creating all those vapors and smells inside the house, and you're basically protecting that HVAC system from having any sort of dust and debris from getting into the mechanisms, thereby clogging them, because usually construction is when there's going to be the most dust inside the house. So you really want to try and cut down on dust that's getting into your components in the HVAC system, and that's the best way to do it, by sealing every single duct off throughout the entire house. And we're doing that not only on the HVAC system, but on the ductwork, basically the exterior fans for the house. So that's a good way to keep the dust to a minimum.
In Las Vegas, your largest energy cost is going to be your forced air conditioning. So we want to make sure not only the house is tight, and that would involve not only all the flashing, all the doors, the windows, the installation, all the perforations, and overall tight envelope. At the same time, the ductwork is extremely tight, which ensures the fact that that cold air is actually delivered to the specific rooms based on the modeled CFM per area, and all that's done by those calculations are all done by the HVAC contractors.